forecast. Eve, back over to you.
Thank you, Matt. Well, this month's edition of Up and Atom Science takes us under the sea for some deep sea science. I headed over to the Vinci Science Center in Allentown recently to show you how you can have some underwater fun with your kids without actually going to sea. Take a look. Well, good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us for the April edition of Up and Atom Science. I'm here with Troy Thrash, the Executive Director and CEO here at the Center, and Karen Knecht, the Director of Education. Guys, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Thanks for joining us. I hear we're going under the sea this morning.
We are.
So exciting. And Troy, I know you have a huge underwater event coming up.
That's right. On April 30th, it's our Science Hall of Fame Awards, where every year we honor outstanding students and teachers in math and science, and also companies. This year we're going to be honoring PPL for their service to our work and what we do in inspiring that next generation of scientist and engineer. So happening on April 30th, last year our keynote speaker was Captain Winston Scott, a former shuttle astronaut. It was an amazing experience for the adults and the kids who attended. So this year we're having Dr. Edie Witter. Now she is the founder of the Ocean Research and Conservation Association. Got a very interesting background. She studies deep sea creatures, and she had an issue in studying this, which is she's got these cameras with these bright visible lights, and taking those cameras down to photograph creatures who have never seen light before. And you know what it's like when, of course, the bright lights are shining, and it's tough enough to get humans to act naturally, right?
Yes.
Well, she had the issue is she couldn't get these creatures to act naturally. So she came up with a new imaging system that has allowed her to actually find several new species of creatures, including a 6-foot squid that no one had ever seen before. So she's going to be our keynote speaker. We're so excited about that. And this event is going to be open to the public, to kids and adults. So today, in honor of her, we're going to be doing a couple of experiments on convection currents and also bioluminescence. These are some things that she's going to be not only be talking about, but showing. Absolutely.
And as always, these are some inexpensive experiments that moms and dads, grandma and grandpas can do with their kids at home. We will have activity sheets on our website. So Karen, I know that you have a great little experiment that you're going to guide us through this morning, right?
We do. We have an experiment right here that will demonstrate convection currents. Okay. So all you need is some hot water and some cold water and some containers to put it in. We have a pretty special container here that we're going to set up and then do a different experiment and come back and see what has happened. Okay. So all you need to do to set this up, another important component to the experiment is food coloring.
Okay, maybe something a parent should use if you don't want to mess. Okay.
Right. So I'm going to put some red food coloring into this side, and what temperature do you think of when you think red? Hot or cold?
Oh, hot.
Hot. So that's right. This is the hot side, and then we have some blue food coloring there. If you want to add some blue food coloring, about 5 drops to the other side, and you can see we have some ice in the container to cool the water.
Balancing the microphone here. 5 drops?
About 5, yeah.
Okay.
We are quick.
Thanks.
And then this one we'll come back to.
Okay.
And check it out in a little while.
Okay. And what are we going to do while the food coloring is settling in there?
On this side, if you have some leftover baby food jars, those are perfect for this experiment. If not, you can use any other type of bottle with kind of a wide mouth that you can fit a playing card over top of. Okay. And we're going to ask you to do the same experiment as each other, Troy and Eve, only in reverse.
Competition again, my friend. Okay.
So one person is going to put the red or the hot water on top of the blue water.
Okay.
And turn the bottle upside down and see what happens. One's going to do the opposite and see what happens.
Okay. Do you mind holding the mic while we do this?
I don't mind at all.
What should I do? Should I do
I think I'll do the hot on top if you're okay with doing the cold on top.
Sure. Okay. Now we have to be careful here that we don't spill.
Right. I think that's the big competition. See who doesn't spill.
I'm nervous about that.
You've got this. Absolutely.
Oh, I'm spilling a little.
Not a problem.
Is that okay?
That's fine.
Little spillage is
now,
okay?
we just want to make sure that the mouth of the jar are lined up.
Okay. Oh boy, this takes skill.
Yeah,
Look at my tray. Look at my tray as compared to Troy's.
So far. We'll see what happens when we pull the cards out.
Okay.
Now,
Karen, do you trust me with this?
Slowly.
Sure, you should.
All right, so we're going to pull the card out.
Very slowly. You might have a little bit of a leak, but that's all right.
Okay. Disclaimer. Just a little leak is fine, right?
And so this is analogous to what happens in the ocean with hot water and cold water currents.
All right, Eve, I've done mine. Mine's not too exciting. I still have the red on top and the blue on bottom.
I think that's pretty exciting, Troy. It's
Yeah, yours is.
So what do you think?
What I think is exciting is that you didn't make a mess. That you managed to do that. So what's happening with Troy's as compared to mine, Karen?
So the cold water in this experiment, as in the ocean, is more dense, so it will stay on the bottom. Think of what you always learned, that hot air rises, like a hot air balloon and things like that.
Yeah.
And if we look back at our first experiment, you can see the same thing is happening in here, just demonstrated in a little bit different of a way. So you can see that the hot water is staying on top and the cold water is staying near the bottom. And this is very important in the oceans to transferring heat, transferring nutrients, and it keeps the water moving throughout the ocean.
So that's why mine turned this beautiful shade of purplish.
Yep, yours inverted right away. The hot went straight for the bottom.
Well, at least it did what it was supposed to do with a little mess, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, thanks. That was fun. That was fun. And what's coming up next, Troy?
Well, coming up next, we're going to be doing an experiment in bioluminescence.
Ooh, okay.
So I think we're just going to leave it at that. It's going to be a little surprise, but it's quite amazing how it happens in the real world and how we can, in some ways, emulate it here at the Science Lab.
Great. Some more under the sea fun coming up in our next segment in this month's edition of Up and Atom Science. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Time now for part 2 of this month's edition of Up and Atom Science. This time we're talking bioluminescence in preparation for an upcoming underwater program. Take a look. Well, welcome back, everybody. We are having some under-the-sea fun here at the Da Vinci Science Center in Allentown. Troy and Karen joining me once again. And Karen, I know this time we are talking bioluminescence, right?
We are, and we have our special guest, a pet that we like to have around the Da Vinci Science Center, Squiddy.
Oh, Squiddy. Hi, Squiddy.
He listens really well. He can go up and down whenever you tell him to. And I'm going to give this to you to give it a try.
Okay.
All you have to do is squeeze the bottle. He has a little air bladder in there. And when you squeeze it, it fills up a little bit more with water, which makes him more dense, and he sinks to the bottom.
Can I trade you the microphone here? We should mention Squiddy is not real, right?
Squiddy is not real.
But he plays a squid on TV.
And what is it? This is just like a seltzer bottle filled with water, right?
Right, and the name of this experiment is called the Cartesian Diver. We'll post that on the website for people to try at home.
Okay.
And it's fun to watch him go up and down, but what we're really interested in, and what our guest scientist, Dr. Edie Witter, is interested in, is the fact that many creatures that live deep in the sea can do what's called bioluminesce. That means living light. They actually produce light.
Okay.
You're probably familiar with that from fireflies and things like that.
Yeah.
But many ocean animals use this for different purposes.
Okay.
Some to communicate, defend themselves, things like that.
So something else parents can do if they order Squiddy, which I guess you can do online or at certain science stores, we can actually make Squiddy glow, right?
You can make him glow. Yep, his skin glows in this particular experiment. So if you want to demonstrate how they would do that.
Sure. Now our cameras won't pick this up, but all you would have to do is apply some light.
That's right. What we're going to do is we're going to simulate the effect of bioluminescence in the real world by lighting this up, as you can do even with stars and things that people, kids like to put on their ceilings. And then if we were to turn the lights down, our Squiddy would glow, just like the real world creatures in the deep ocean.
And we have some pictures now that we're showing of the real world squid actually glowing. So this is kind of simulates what we'd see under the sea, right?
Absolutely. And if we were at home, and of course you can do this at home, if you were to turn the lights off, it would be completely dark. You would be able to see Squiddy glowing.
Pretty cool. Okay, awesome. Well, that's fun. And you have another thing that we'll pick up on our cameras that we want to show. This is part 2 of our experiment. What's this?
So for the Squiddy experiment, you need light to make light. But deep in the sea, there is no light.
Right.
So the animals actually have chemicals inside their bodies that mix together to produce this light. And we're going to simulate that in some beakers this morning.
Okay.
So if we want to put our safety gear on whenever you're using chemicals.
Okay.
Put some gloves and some safety glasses on.
Okay. Troy, do you want to put the gloves on and I'll handle the microphone?
Sounds great.
Okay. Or should I put them on too, Karen?
Sure. I can hold the mic for you.
Okay. And what are we going to do here?
So the ocean animals, what color do you think fireflies usually glow? What color is that light that they produce?
Yellowy light? Yellow or white?
And that's a good color for land critters. We're going to see what color we make in these beakers that's good for the ocean critters that might be produced underwater.
Ready for surgery, Troy?
All right, I think we're ready. Still get these around my hands here, but I think we're ready to go.
So what do we do here, Karen?
All you're going to do is pour this chemical, which happens to be water, into this chemical, which happens to be luminol, the stuff they use on CSI.
Okay.
And you're going to mix them together with the spoon.
Okay.
You'll see what it looks like in the
Sure. Do you want to be the mixer?
Oh, I think you can do this.
Oh, okay. Oh, thanks.
I'll just be the holder in this
Okay, that
episode.
sounds good. Oh boy. Almost overflowed.
Got it nice and full. That's okay.
And now I mix it up?
Mix it up.
Okay.
And so it looks yellow in this light.
Yeah.
But when we dim the lights, you'll see it glowing a different color.
Okay.
And you can see that it's blue. And that makes sense for the ocean because the ocean is blue and that color transmits really well underwater. And there are many, many different creatures that use this to do the different things they need to do to survive.
How neat is that? All right, well, we're going to bring the lights back up and tell folks how they can have some under the sea fun of their own coming up at the Da Vinci Science Center.
Well, sure. Like we talked about, April 30th is our Science Hall of Fame. Again, we're very excited about Dr. Edie Witter coming to talk about how she looks at these kinds of things in the real world. But the Hall of Fame is part of a week-long celebration that we call Science Works. It's sponsored by Bob and Sandy Lovett. It's going to be a week-long celebration of all the really great, unique things that our local partners do in math and science in the area. And also in there is from May 2nd to May 7th, we're having a celebration of women in science, and it's presented by Wells Fargo. We're going to be having women from all over the valley and all over the region come in and talk to kids, talk to adults about all the great things that they do in math and science and really how they fell in love with it in the first place. So we've got lots of great activities coming up. It's going to be a fantastic week, and this is just the beginning.
Yeah, just a little preview. Well, I enjoyed going under the sea with you guys this morning. Thank you so much for taking me there. It was fun. And again, we'll have more information on the events that Troy mentioned, as well as activity sheets for what we showed you this morning on our website, WFMZ.com. We'll be right back.